because I was like, wow, I really have to recollect my journey. And by the way, I'm Naisha. I am one half of two mommies and a baby. My wife is Sam, and we have our lovely daughter, Abigail. And my journey literally started when I became a parent, when we became parents. And I know it started then because it was a journey for us to get pregnant. A lot of things that we had to track, a lot of communication, a lot of doctor's appointments, a lot of understanding that this process is just our process. Something new for us. Fine, perfect, great, we have a job. But when Abigail was born, she was born in February, and I think I sent my therapist an email like for a consultation. I requested a consultation probably like May or June, maybe a little later, and it was hard and a little tough for me to send that first email. And I say that because therapy wasn't talked about when I was growing up, not at all. Therapy was not something that you address, and it wasn't bashed in my household either. But it's just not something that you talked about. If you had a problem, figure it out. If you had a problem, God will handle it. So it was something new. So I want to talk about how I found my therapist. So I'm a born and raised New Yorker. We live in Georgia right now, a little outside of Atlanta. And I used to commute on the train. I'm laughing because that was a totally different life from what we have now. I used to commute on the train, and my favorite podcast, Side Hustle Pro. And I would always listen to her, and she helped me understand how to support Black businesses. The host is Nikayla. She helped me understand how to support Black businesses and how to find a Black business literally for everything that you wanted. There was an answer. So Dr. Joy Harden Bradford, the founder of Therapy for Black Girls, she was on the podcast as a guest. And I was like, what? Let me listen to this episode. Let me see what's going on. Let me see what it could do for me. Once I heard Therapy for Black Girls, I'm like, what's up? What's going on? So I'm listening, and Dr. Joy literally shared, she was like, I didn't see, the resources for Black women and girls, so let me create it. And she started with a Google Doc full of therapists ready to offer their services, or not offer, but share that they are available to have clients come to them. I'm like, okay. Thank you for sharing your story, Dr. Joy. This is back again in 2018. So I'm listening. I felt so empowered that there was a resource for me. And of course, I sat on it. Didn't really, wasn't excited to go for it, but I knew it was available. And then one day, I just was like, I'm just not feeling myself. And it's difficult for me to talk to my wife about it. It's difficult for me to, my best friend definitely was available and still is available, but it's difficult I just need some additional answers. It's difficult to communicate with my mother, my brother, about my personal experience. I want to see what someone else can do for me. And I was like, okay, thankfully we have insurance. Let me go to this therapist directory. Let me see what it's really about. I put in my insurance, I put in my location in the state of New York, and I think over 200 therapists popped up. I was like, oh my God, this is like a whole new world, a whole new world. I can't sing, but it was just like, oh my goodness, this is something open up. This is totally, what is this? I love it. Okay, so I get the therapist directory, and I'm like, okay, let's do this. And I emailed probably 4 therapists, and I specifically said, hi, sent them a nice email. I need a therapist for myself, and I need a therapist for myself and my wife. And we're gonna get into that because technically my wife wasn't ready for therapy then. Anyway, so the woman who became my therapist, she was like, hi Naisha, I would love to meet with you, but I can't be a therapist for you and your wife as well as for you. It'll be a conflict. I said, okay, fine. So let me just go with me. Thankfully, my insurance covered things. I think I had a $50 copay at the time. That was, of course, based off of my insurance plan. And I had to leave work early, technically 30 minutes early. And I did that because I wanted to be the star player, I wanted to be a team player and not take off half a day. But I'm like, okay, 30 minutes. And I remember it was bi-weekly. I think maybe Tuesdays or Thursdays. And I told my supervisor, I was like, hey, I have to leave work early. I'm actually in therapy. I'm whispering it, didn't want nobody to know. Felt a little embarrassed telling her that. And technically, I did not have to tell her the reason why I need to leave 30 minutes early every other week. But because I wanted to keep communication open, I told her. And thankfully, there was no issues. And, wonderful woman, no issues, thankfully. But now that I think back, I didn't have to tell her. I could say, hey, I'm going to be leaving. I'm going to be leaving 30 minutes early every other Thursday. It's not going to hurt anyone at all. But I digress. I've learned, okay? I've learned. So she's like, okay, Naisha. So, I left that day and I had my first appointment. And it helped so much. The tears just started flowing. And I'm happy that I took that step for myself. The only resource I had was Side Hustle Pro, who led me to Therapy for Black Girls. I didn't reach out to anyone else. And I'm thankful that I did that for me, because I knew I needed healing. And, that's literally where it all began. So my therapist was like, Naisha, this is your floor. And the reason why I'm so grateful that I have had and still have therapy is because I walk into my therapy appointment or virtual appointment and I just let it out. No one is there to judge me. No one is there to correct my feelings. No one is there to yell at me. No one is there to tell me that I'm wrong. I'm just talking, and those feelings are validated. And back then, now I understand that this is how life should be. But back then, I'm just like, okay, what are you gonna tell me? Am I crazy? Are you thinking something? Do you need to prescribe me medication? This is about what I'm thinking within the first couple of appointments. But no, it was just a space for me to get it all out. And I'm so grateful for my first therapist. She knows who she is. I'm so grateful for her. I'm so happy for her. And, I hope we can still keep in communication. I still send her emails. I'm so thankful for you. Just happy holidays, because she was literally the first person that helped me start my mental health journey. So when I walked into her office, I'm just remembering, picturing it. It was just, a calm place. It wasn't the typical thing like when you walk into someone's office and they have the long yellow couch and you go lay on the couch. It wasn't like that. She definitely had a couch. It was actually a love seat, and she had her chair. And she always asked me if I wanted tea. And I always declined, because I like to have my tea like not super, super hot. And I know I'm going to be talking, so I wouldn't be able to enjoy the tea. Anyway, so she would ask me if I want tea, if I wanted to lay down. Anything, like she would ask me what type of essential oils I wanted. She made this space. She asked me what I wanted. That's another thing. I didn't have to cater to anyone in my appointment. I didn't have to mask my feelings. And I didn't realize that that's what I went through within, my life and within my marriage, looking to please another person. If I'm working on a group project, I was always looking to please and put so much extra so I can look good. Going into therapy, absolutely different. So I went with my therapist every 2 weeks, strong. Every 2 weeks, going to her office, and she's helping me through so much. And then there was one point, my employer, the supervisor, she was like, Naisha, are you still in therapy? Because we need you on this day. I was like, yes, I'm still in therapy. Like, what are you talking about? I'm still in therapy. And in my mind, I didn't know when it was going to end, but I'm like, yes, like, why would you ask me that? If anything changed in my schedule, I am a key player. I am ready to help. I will be there, but it didn't change. Okay. So, that first appointment, those first experiences, I'm so grateful for my therapist. And I encourage people to go to therapy. If you are feeling lost, if you are feeling that you don't matter, if you are feeling like just unsure on what their next steps are, seek professional help. I know people may judge you. You may even judge yourself. However, if you cannot fix your problems internally, you need someone to help you get it out. And speaking to a close friend or a family member may not be the only thing that will help you. It could help, but it may not be the only thing that should be able to help you. Okay, so I just truly emphasize, and I'm just laughing in my head. I'm like laughing because my friends and family, some people say, oh, you talk about therapy. And that is what I'm going to talk about. I'm actually pursuing my master's in clinical and mental health counseling. So yes, that's something I'm going to talk about because it's going to be my career, and also because it's something that helped me so much. Just like when someone has a weight loss, They're going to talk about everything they did. They're going to talk about their favorite meal out of their meal plan, their type of equipment, the type of gym they go to, what time they go to the gym. They wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. They do yoga at night. They don't eat meat. They don't drink alcohol. Great. I'm happy for you. Now that's exactly how I am with therapy. Now I used to be exactly everything I listed. I used to be, I had a really wonderful weight loss journey. I'll get there eventually. Anyway, this is about my therapy journey. I'm going to talk about all that because it helped me so much. All right, so let me look back at my notes. I'm trying to think if there were any moments where therapy was challenging for me. Goodness, therapy is and was such a wonderful experience. The challenge, no. Maybe recently, of course, things have increased in price. Oh my goodness, I want to go to therapy, but I'm also going to the chiropractor once a week. Is it within my budget to put in 2 medical appointments? That's probably was the challenge. And I want to talk about that. Some therapists don't take health insurance, and that's fine. That's on them. I've learned that some health insurance plans take weeks to pay out a therapist, as well as there's some platforms who have glitches in their platform, so therapists won't get paid. And I respect my therapist so much. I don't want that to happen, okay? So if you are looking up a therapist and you see that they are self-pay only, it's because the insurance plans are not helpful to them. And while they're helpful for us as a patient, we don't want someone that is helping us through our journey getting paid 3 weeks later. And what if you have weekly appointments? That means they're not making their coin. We all want to make our coin. So let's keep it real. And they may also not take insurance because what if they want to see more people and the insurance is not in their state? There's many different things. I'm not in that field, but I specifically know that insurance companies do take a long time to pay out therapists. So I definitely want to respect that. So if you have to come out of pocket, in my mind, I say therapy is like gas. You need gas. You absolutely need gas in order for your car to move. If you have an EV, great. Okay, you have electric vehicle, you need to plug it up to the port. I don't know what it's called. Don't judge me, okay? But you have to plug it up. If you do not do that, you will not be able to move your car, okay? Therapy is like that for me. I need therapy to help me going. I need therapy to bring the serenity and the joy and to feel heard and seen in my life. So that's the reason why I go to therapy. And I'm not worried about the copay. Now, I know I have a budget. Thankfully, my current therapist within my budget. There are therapists who charge double my current therapist charges. And that's okay. That's not for me because I can't afford it. Just keeping it real. It's not within my budget. It's not within my monthly spending. However, someone else can. And if you can, I would definitely say take that leap for yourself. All right? Think about it like this. How many times do you eat out per week? How many times do you go to brunch? How many times do you buy new clothes, new shoes, a new phone, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff adds up. But are you still happy? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Are you happy with the items that you have or the experiences that you have? If you're happy within that temporary moment, that's great. I've experienced that as well. But in the long term, are you happy? That's something to think about. Another topic that I'd like to address is how therapy has helped me with my friends and family. So this is interesting. Obviously, my wife, we live together, and me going to therapy and her not ready to go to therapy at the same time as I was going to therapy, it was a challenge for me to accept. I can't speak on her behalf, but it came up in the beginning and a lot of our disagreements. And I'm like, you should go to therapy because you will understand yourself. Oh, she wasn't ready. You can't tell someone to go to therapy and them not be ready. One, they're going to get upset with you, which makes sense to me. And two, then let's say you try to force them to go to therapy, they're not going to be ready to receive that information. So you cannot, absolutely not try to force someone to go to therapy. You can suggest it many times, but they're going to be upset with you. I'm just speaking from experience, and maybe you have known someone who you've tried to encourage to go to therapy and they're just so reluctant to go, and it's because they're not ready. Okay, just like I'm bringing back to the fitness. Maybe it's because my fitness journey needs to start. My Peloton bike is right there. I'm going to get on it. Okay, so maybe it's just like someone with their fitness journey. You're like, maybe you should just adjust your diet. Maybe you should go for more walks. That person is not going to start because they're not ready. Okay, so just really, truly think about that. All right, I'm just being honest. Save yourself the time and the energy from keep telling them because it may bring up further disagreements. Okay. All right, I am looking at my notes. Many Black women face unique challenges related to mental health, and when they decide to go to therapy, they are judged. I'm just speaking from experience. I'm speaking from what I see on social media. Yes, we all know that this is a true known fact. People will say, "Oh, I want to go to therapy." An elder, who probably does not believe in therapy. Not all elders don't believe in therapy, but someone who doesn't, they'll say, "You need to go to God. You need to pray. God will clean all your thoughts." And while I don't disagree, I think someone else being able to talk to will be a great assisting, will be great in assisting what you need to address. God is here. I believe in God. I don't go to church as much as I'd like to, but I believe in God. We pray. We pray with our daughter. We thank God daily. There were times when we could not pay our bills. There were times when we didn't have money to eat. This is me and Sam. There were times before our daughter came. This time when we didn't have money to pay our bills. There was times when we didn't have money to eat. And today, I thank God. I thank God I'm even here you have the equipment to speak to you today. I thank God. But God would not be able to help you solve all your problems. If you have something that you need to speak to with someone, there is a resource available for you. And I think that's a mental health professional. It could be a therapist, it could be a social worker, psychologist, a psychotherapist, someone who's there in the mental health field. They are here for you, okay? So just to think back, Black women do face a lot of judgment if they say they're in therapy. And I believe going to therapy continuously will help you just get that judgment out of your mind. It's really about you and owning who you are. If you are not comfortable in your skin and comfortable going to therapy, then someone else is going to say something that's going to immediately break you. You're going to be like, I don't want to pay that copay anyway. I don't want to go there. Forget it. Therapy, she wasn't helping me anyway. This therapist wasn't helping me anyway, whether it's a male or female, okay? So just when you have your first appointment, keep it to yourself. Go on your own journey. And I'd love to address that. When I started therapy, my wife knew because it was a financial transaction, and we talk about financial transactions together. Obviously, I was paying the copay, blah, blah, blah. My best friend knew. And then my supervisor, because I told her, which again, I didn't have to, but I did. And I think that was it. No one really else knew. And I feel like it was a hidden secret. It was something that was on a hush hush, but it's because I wasn't ready, and maybe I didn't know how to address why I was in therapy or when I was in therapy. But thankfully, girl, I put it on social media. I'll wear a t-shirt. I'm in therapy. I'm in therapy. Yes, I'm in therapy, and I am grateful to be in therapy. Okay. Therapy literally has saved my life, and I'd love to address that in another video. All right. So, I just want to make sure I get any other notes out to you all. If someone, okay, yes, I'm going to share a resource that I know. If someone is struggling with their mental health journey and they cannot afford therapy because therapy is costly, there's a specific organization, the Loveland Foundation, that has helped me, and they have helped people that I know in my inner circle. They offer 12 vouchers to one person one time. You cannot get it again. And I like that because it gives support to other people. 12 vouchers for you to see a therapist. Okay, and you can find your therapist on therapyforblackgirls.com, and you can use those vouchers, just confirm with them, communicate with them that they take Loveland vouchers, and they'll give you 12, and you can use that to go seek therapy. Now, while the Loveland Foundation's program isn't open all year round, I believe it's open every quarter. Please don't quote me, but if you sign up for their email newsletter, you'll see that, or it's also on their website. Just sign up. And you can go to therapy for free. No financials needed. You don't have to provide no documentation. Literally, they'll give you 12 vouchers. And within that time, if possible, save the money on the side so you can continue on with your therapist, because 12 sessions may not heal you, okay? And you have to be prepared to continue on. So again, your therapy journey is your journey. Let's sum it up here. You don't have to explain yourself until you are ready to, or you don't have to explain it at all. Something that I really want to stress: when someone is ready to go to therapy, they will go. So it may be a little hard to get a partner or a family member in therapy, but don't hold that against yourself. Don't say that's your fault. There's nothing wrong with you, and there's nothing wrong with them. They just have to be ready to receive the information, okay? So I know I was blabbing and talking, but I really truly hope this helps someone, because our journeys matter. If you do not seek the help that you deserve and need, you may be in a place that is dark, and you may be in a place of uncertainty. And I'm hoping to, just continue to spread the love, because all I talk about is therapy, therapy, therapy. And people have told me that. Well, that's what it is, okay? I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Peace.